Okay, today we are playing a Scrim game on Blizzard World, and tragically our run of not being communist ends today, because our heroes for this game are in fact the Red Menace. How very un-American of us, he said, being from Europe. So our heroes, the Red Menace, are running goats, so that's incredibly exciting. Meanwhile, over here, the boys in blue are running a dive comp, so that's also very exciting, and I've got nothing to say about the teams because they're both very uneventful team comps, basically. As you'd expect, really, given the setting. So, the Red Menace are currently sneaking their way up the left side of the gate, and here they come, and they're gonna slide up on Snack's Rams, like so. Sombra's behind them, up to no good, and their Genji manages to slip through and find Zenyatta on the red team. And let's just stop for a moment to appreciate how good the UI's gotten over time, because look at that, we can see who got hacked. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? So we've made great strides in viewability right now. So what's going on with Anna? Because Anna seems like she's having trouble keeping up with the healing. Because I've just noticed that a lot of people have been like half health up here for a while. Anna's not really getting pressured much. She's sort of getting body blocked by Bridget, it looks like, but not overly so. Yeah, I mean, granted, she can't really see Sombra, but, like, looks like she was having trouble keeping up with the healing overall there. Sombra's pretty good against Ghost. Although there's actually stars for the people who got stunned as well. Isn't that incredible? Look how far we've come as a video game. So, the fight started off really badly for the Red Menace, but they just sort of won the fight anyway, incredibly enough. So, Genji is actually going to build up a lot of ult charge before he dies right now. He actually manages to build up his full ult before he dies. And someone was very upset because I just heard someone go, "Oh my god!" before complaining about how much ult charge they gave him. They gave him a lot of ult charge before they killed him. So we're running after someone, I'm not sure who it was. Didn't get him though, so now we're going to regroup on the payload. So Genji's managed to build up his ult. Sombra's also almost got her ult, and so is Anna, so the boys in blue are looking pretty good as far as the next team fight goes, honestly. Managed to pick off Lucio right there. How'd that happen exactly? Sombra's behind on the right, or the left from our perspective right now. Lucio was just really far back, got hacked and killed. Isn't that unfortunate? Given that they know there's a Sombra, you know, I guess he's looking over there at those guys right now, but he just goes off a little bit too far away from the group, so just gets hacked, can't get back to the group, and before they even know what the fuck, Lucio's dead. So that's very unfortunate for them. Winston just got absolutely murdered. What happened to Winston here? So Winston went in and he just kind of walked in and got beat to death, huh? What an uneventful death. He literally just walked into those men and got beaten to death. So it was a good start, but then they lost their Winston, so they lost their main tank, but they only killed one of the healers for the Red Menace, so not a very good trade for them. So Sombra's got the hack off. Oh, Diva's over there. Yep, they managed to get Diva before, because Diva's the one I was really looking at, because Diva's got self-destruct right now, so it's pretty important they killed her before the before the hack wore off. Reinhardt right now is just the saddest boy in history, because not only is poor Reinhardt hacked, he's also asleep. So just in case he was in any danger of doing anything at all, basically, they shut that one down right proper, so he won't be contributing to this fight for a little while. Zenyatta managing to actually stay alive despite getting hacked. Oh no, that's their Zenyatta. No, that is our Zenyatta. I'm colorblind. Leave me alone. So Zenyatta managed to actually stay alive despite getting emped, which is very unusual for them. They did, unfortunately, like, despite getting a pretty sick emp off, they didn't actually, like, really do very much with it. They managed to get Diva out of mech, but that's pretty much all. Genji elected not to use Dragon Blade, even though they also have Nano Boost ready. So we've just got a bunch of people kind of like hopping around. Like, Sombra died right as she used the Emp, which is not exactly unusual for them. So even though they got the Emp off, they just didn't really do anything with it. They could have comboed at least like Dragon Blade with it, because Their team isn't exactly gonna do a phenomenal DPS to a Goats comp, given that Sombra died, so their only remaining DPS at that point was Genji and Zenyatta, if you really feel like counting him, so... Odd. So, oh, managed to get a few people with the self-destruct there, so... She literally just, like, dumped it on the payload, huh? Yeah. So Lucio's got nowhere to go. Oh, was that Reinhardt hacked? Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, Reinhardt's hacked. Oh, no, that's so sad. Oh. When the self-destruct's right there, but unfortunately, you've been hacked. So they actually managed to stop the Red Menace's aggression right there. Now, the Red Menace does, however, have almost every ultimate available right now, whereas the boys in blue only have 3. They do have Nano Blade and Trance ready, however, the Red Menace has Transcendence and Sound Barrier ready. So even with the Nano Blade, it's going to be kind of difficult for them to actually win the fight. So they managed to get a lot of people purple in there, but unfortunately Lucio can just use his ultimate, and then it doesn't matter if they're purple anymore. Everybody's grouped, they actually used Nano Boost. When did they use the Nano Boost? They used the Nano Boost right there, and then Genji's using Self-Destruct. He's using Dragon Blade right now. Where's Genji? Oh, he got Nano Boosted. Okay, so he went in right there. I missed Genji get it. Yep, there's Genji getting Nano Boosted down there. So, unfortunately, yeah, you know, they've got 2 defensive ultimates ready, so even though he's Nano Bladed, he only manages to get the 1 person. And unfortunately, given the huge buffer the Red Menace has right now, they can just march right in on these people and not really have to worry about it too much. They might not even have to use any more ultimates. They might get away with just using the 2 support ultimates. That's in fact exactly what they're going to get away with. So... basically the absolute worst possible scenario for the boys in blue, where they committed their ult combo and only got 2 ults and 1 kill out of it, but they still lost the fight. So now the boys in blue are at an even bigger ultimate disadvantage right now. So they're starting to change their team comp. Now they've got Rein Zarya. So they're slowly changing off of their dive comp. Sombra's really close to having Imp, so she's pretty unlikely to change right now. The Red Menace, however, still has 4 ultimates to use. Bridget's just used hers right now. Everybody's pushing in very aggressively. Oh my god! Lucio gets the little thing over his head to tell you which aura he's using right now? Oh my goodness, isn't that incredible? What a world we live in. So, everybody's in the everybody's in the Graviton. Tragically, Transcendence is not gonna save you from self-destruct. So... yeah, that just kills all of those people. Now, the Red Menace still have to push really far along the track. And there's only 1 person back on there, which is fine, because everybody else is up here making space right now. But they have to push so far. The boys in blue do still have time to regroup in their spawn. Did they just get earth-shattered in their spawn? This is not exactly a great use of company resources from Reinhardt right here, is it? Because, yeah, look, he managed to hit basically everyone's still alive with that Earth Shatter right now. But there's kind of this no fun allowed gate in front of them, so he's just kind of standing there with his face pressed up against the glass like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you." And they're like, are you gonna get us? I'm not so certain, Reinhardt. Did manage to get the Ashe in there. Now they have an Ashe as well. Still managed to get 2 kills on those people. Red Menace getting there, slowly inching their way forward. The boys in blue, like, really just need to kind of calm the fuck down right now and, like, regroup, because they've got time. They got time. They can just sit in the spawn. They don't have to do anything. They got ults. They can wait. Sombra can guard the other side, emp them from behind, and then everybody can push out the gate. So they nano boost the Reinhardt, get out here, whiffs the Earth Shatter really badly. Very bad communication, because Sombra's also about to use the Emp. So this could be 100% free right now if Reinhardt just waits an extra second or 2 to use self-destruct. Or self-destruct. What is wrong with me? What is fucking wrong with me? If Reinhardt just waits a few seconds to use Earth Shatter, Sombra's definitely looking to use her Emp right now. You can just get this combo off for free, and there'd be no shield here to block it. Tragically, doesn't happen, and he whiffs hardcore. Also, tragically, Sombra didn't get Lucio with this, and Lucio has sound barrier. Lucio's the only person that didn't get got. So Lucio gets to use the sound barrier right now to try and stabilize the fight. But by this point, honestly, the fight's starting to look pretty bad for the Red Menace. They would have been better off just saving it at this point to use for the next team fight. Because, I mean, once you got your whole team except one person gets emped, like, you're not looking good for that fight. Yeah, the sound barrier's there to protect you while it's going, but, like, everybody's hacked for 6 seconds. Somebody's already dead. It's not looking good for the fight, so they just kind of waste an ultimate right there on a fight they'd already lost, which is unfortunate. So the Red Menace have had their momentum thoroughly stalled by the boys in blue now, and unfortunately it's kind of hard to get your momentum going again on this checkpoint, because once you've pushed the payload all the way up through there, you kind of have to do a pretty hard push through this trench right here. And now the boys in blue have actually got their slight ult advantage going now. They use the Graviton, make everybody purple so the Transcendence doesn't do anything, and then Anna's got her nano boost again, so Reinhardt just gets to clean up the fight. Boys in blue maintain their ult advantage, however slight, because they've got 2 ultimates, almost 3, because Sombra's very close to having Imp, whereas the Red Menace only has 1 ultimate and 1 person is close. Granted, the person that's close is Zarya, so that's a pretty important ultimate to have. So, the boys in blue, they've deployed Daddy, sorry, I always forget. And he's been shoved into the corner, however, he is still being a bit inconvenient for the enemy team, because they can't really move around super freely. Where did Sombra die? What happened to her? How did Sombra die? Sombra's back there. She just got clocked on the skull around the corner. That's very unfortunate. She's got Imp, so it's very unfortunate that she died right now, but the Red Menace have lost 2 of their 3 healers. Oh, now they've lost all their healers, so doesn't matter in the end that Sombra died, because they've managed to clean up all the supports. The boys in blue are still trying very hard. The Red Menace, rather, is still trying to win the fight, but unfortunately doesn't quite pan out for them. So now they've just got to regroup and try again. The Red Menace at this point is starting to build up their own ult advantage, because they're getting very close to having all of their ultimates at this point. Boys in blue have also got a lot of ultimates. Now, the Red Menace should be keeping track of how their ults are going right now. The Red Menace have still got time to have 2 fights, provided they pick this fight and then all die or retreat cleanly. So, given how difficult it can be to get momentum going again on the 3rd checkpoint, at this point I would advise they just try and push in, save their ultimates, and try to get as many ultimates out of the boys in blue as possible, unless they see, like, a really good opportunity to use their ultimates. Because, like, if Reinhardt manages to build up Earthshatter and get, like, 3 people with them, great. But given that the boys in blue have got so many ultimates on top of the defender's advantage, I would advise just pushing in, picking a fight as soon as possible, getting some of the resources out of the boys in blue, and then coming back for an easier team fight on the next one, unless they see a really good opportunity to use their ultimates. So, the boys in blue have used Graviton, and they also use the Emp, so now the Red Menace don't have much choice except to hold some of their ultimates. Zenyatta didn't get caught, and he manages to build up Transcendence in time to use right here. However, Reinhardt's already dead. Did he die ahead of time? Yes, he's already dead. And Brigitte is purple right now, but she actually managed to survive somehow, despite being purple right in front of the enemy team. So, but this fight, it's not exactly going well for the Red Menace, so they save... Oh, they've used a fair few of their ultimates, actually, didn't they? And Diva ended up dying pretty late as well. Not overly so compared to the other 2. So they've still got time, they got Lucio, so it's not like they can't get back in time, but they committed a few ultimates to that fight, so now they have to pick the second fight again regardless, because they didn't win the first fight, but now they just have less resources to work with, because they could be coming into this fight with 6 ultimates, while the boys in blue have 2 ultimates. However, now they're only coming in with 3 ultimates versus 2 ultimates, so... Whereas if they were coming in with 6 ultimates, this fight should basically be a lock, unless their Reinhardt, the boys in blue's Reinhardt, manages to get a really sick Earthshatter. This fight would just be a complete lock. So, anyway, they've started the fight, and absolutely tragic for the boys in blue. Their Anna gets caught by the self-destruct. Where's Anna right now? How'd she get caught by that? I can't really... Oh, she's right there. She's really far up. I'm not quite sure where the bomb landed, so I'm not sure how easy that was for her to avoid. But clearly she didn't avoid it, so it doesn't really matter, does it? So absolutely tragic for them. They lose their main healer right at the start of the fight. That's going to make it very difficult for them to win the fight at that point, isn't it? So Bridget's used her ultimate. She's built that up. Reinhardt's still got his ultimate, so he can basically just Earth Shadow whoever looks like they're going to get to the point in time, and that's pretty much good enough, but nobody manages to get back in the point in time. So the Red Menace got stalled out for a while, but manages to get there in the end, but it could have been cleaner. I would have been much more excited to see the Red Menace running in with 6 ultimates and just go... Easy peasy. So, let's see what we got now. So Red Menace has got just like a kind of static comp. They've got off healer Mercy by the looks of it. Only really has McCree to damage boost, but that's fine. Sometimes Reaper, depending on how the fight's going also. And the boys in blue have elected to go with the dive comp they were running at the start of the game again. So, let's see if they can attack better than the Red Menace, because that's all that really matters, and if they can get there with some time to spare, with over a minute left, and the Red Menace doesn't even get to try again, which would be very unfortunate. So they're starting to build group up on the high ground now, and they're jumping in. We got Genji and Winston, followed by D.Va jumping on the back line, but the back line jumps down to join the team. So McCree was up there. Yeah, so they jump on McCree. McCree's running away. Unfortunately, then, Winston Bubble kind of cuts them off from the rest of the team, and they manage to kill McCree, because McCree's not exactly running in a very safe direction right now, because his whole team's on the left side of the objective, from our perspective, and he's on the right-hand side with Reaper. Now, Reaper's fine to be over here, because he's got Wraith form, so he doesn't have to worry about getting cut off from his team. However, they jump on McCree, and then he does start getting cut off from his team. They try to rally around him, but by the time they actually get there, he's already dead. And Mercy got picked off as well. Oh, Mercy got left behind. Mercy didn't get the memo, so the team tries to rally around McCree on the right side. Mercy, however, doesn't move as quickly as everybody else. Oh, no, she did. She just shot back across to where most of the enemy team is now gathering up, because they dove on McCree. It's easier to draw, isn't it? So they dove on McCree and started driving him that way. So Mercy's like, well, I don't want to be over here, because that's where Winston and D.Va are. So she goes over this way, but unfortunately, like, it's not like this area is completely safe, because now the boys in blue are on both sides of the objective. So Mercy's got nowhere particularly safe to go, and she slingshots over there. Now she's got to come all the way back around again, but Sombra manages to kill her. So the Red Menace have lost both of their healers at this point. Not both of their healers. They've lost one of their off healer and McCree. I don't know why my brain apparently interpreted McCree as being a healer. Because, yeah, it's not quite true. Hey, Soldier, we could count him as a healer, right? Yeah, close enough. So at this point, they're at a numbers disadvantage, so they're just kind of starting to get boxed in and squished by the boys in blue. Oh, now that one's purple. It's Reaper, so he could Wraith form, but he might have already used it. Didn't catch if he used it in the fight. He probably did. But started off really bad for them. They lost 2 people, and unfortunately end up losing the point all the same. Which, I mean, you lose 2 people right at the start of the fight. That's kind of how you expect it to go, isn't it? So, given that the boys in blue were defending with a dive comp, it shouldn't be particularly surprising this happened. So, you know, it's not like their team is particularly... It's not like the Red Menace can't defend against a dive comp at all, but, McCree, like... kind of got split off from the group, and that's, like, exactly what the dive comp wants, right? Like, you don't have to be out of position by much, because everybody tried to group up again and, like, protect each other, but by that point, McCree was already just too close to being dead, and they weren't able to keep him alive, and then it just all fell apart from there. Managed to get the Mercy, and then, what, 2 people, what are you gonna do, right? So, they've regrouped around here. Reinhardt's been put to sleep, which is not a good start to the fight. He's also got Discord Orb on him right now. So they go in, they've got the Nano Blade ready to go, so they're gonna... Oh, I just saw Mercy get Nano boosted. Yep, Mercy just got Nano boosted. She was trying to Nano boost the Reinhardt, but Nano boosted the Mercy instead. Oh! McCree managed to get that Deadeye off, though. Look at that. He's using it basically just to kill Genji, it looks like. Because he comes out and immediately uses Deadeye coming out of Pylon Terrace. And, tragically, the Nano boost, it didn't save Mercy. Because I was like, silver lining. At least it'll be harder for Genji to kill Mercy, right? Nope. Tragically, he still managed to get her as well. So Genji's killed both their healers, which is really good, but unfortunately, the Red Menace's Reinhardt managed to land a really good Earth Shatter behind that, because he hit basically everyone on their team except Genji and Winston. So, yeah, Genji's killing their backline, but the Red Menace is killing all of the boys in blue while Genji's doing that. So, hey, look at that. Reinhardt managed to save the day. And that's why Reinhardt's a really good hero. Look at that. You managed to get the Earth Shatter in? No problem. It's all over. And they have no way to reliably block Reinhardt's Earth Shatter. So they really just kind of need to start and stay more spread out to avoid it. Or like pressure Reinhardt so that he can't get a good Earth Shatter off. Because if they just leave him to his own devices and play like clumped together, that's what's going to happen to him. So, self-destruct. Sombra managed to get the Empath, and that led to Reinhardt and Reaper dying as well. But given what was happening right here, Reinhardt was basically destined for death regardless because of the way the Red Menace is spreading their team out right now. Because Reinhardt's really far up here. I like to think, if you've followed me for a while, you know I like to think about things in terms of circles around people, right? So if we think of the team as being safe, right? They've got the circle of safety around the team. Even this is kind of spread out, because these two circles will be getting pretty far away from it. But if we think about this as being the safe circle, Reinhardt is well outside that safety circle. And then, here comes the self-destruct. Well, now Reinhardt can't really rejoin with the team, can he? Because this is going to happen, so he's going to have to hold the shield up, because he can't walk past it. And then, well, the rest of their team can just, like, group in and kill him. And even if, like, this wasn't happening right now, like, Reinhardt's still so far up compared to the rest of his team. Winston's back here, and, like, Winston's gonna demand the attention of all these people back here right now. Which means, even if self-destruct wasn't happening, this cluster of people could just rush up, pressure Reinhardt, and, like, kill him. And there won't be anything he can really do about that, because they've got nothing to work with. Reinhardt doesn't have Earth Shatter at this point. Anna can't, like, Nano Boost him to try and save him or anything like that. So, even without the self-destruct, they'd probably still kill Reinhardt at this point because of how far he is away from the rest of the team, provided they all, like, collapsed on him and focused him down. Which you would hope they would, given this is a Scrim setting. You know, you'd hope. So, managed to just shove the rest of the Red Menace back, push him through the Pylon Terrace. Winston's used Primal Rage. It didn't really do a whole lot, but by this point they've already got a pretty commanding lead in the fight, so it didn't really have to do a whole lot. So the Red Menace have now managed to build up a lot of ultimates to use in this fight, though, because they've got 3 right now, and they're close to having Nano Boost and Earth Shatter. Whereas the boys in blue are only about to have their 2 support ultimates, but not even any, like, combo with it right now. Oh, they've managed to kill him again. So, yeah, they're just, like, really focusing McCree down, huh? Because, so this is the thing when you're playing against the dive comp, right? Is any amount of, like, going off by yourself can really easily get punished, right? Because we've got McCree and Reaper over here, right? So they're in their little circle over here. And then we got these people up here, and then we got Mercy over here. So, really, the boys in blue, rather, can just pick either of these two and basically just kill them, pretty much. Like, Reaper's over here, so they'll make it difficult for, like, the dive tanks, but the thing you do with a dive comp is you focus down 1 or 2 people as quickly as possible, and then it's really easy to win the rest of the fight because you have a huge numbers advantage right at the start of the fight. And any amount of, like, being off alone just makes it easier for people to jump on you and kill you. So they see that McCree is over there, and, like, he's next to Reaper, so, like, he's got that going for him, which is nice, but, like, literally, he just gets descended on by all of their divers and flankers, focused down, and then bam, suddenly, numbers disadvantage right at the start of the fight. Their tanks are 1,000 miles away. Like, Reinhardt and D.Va are off having their own little engagement right now, whereas the backline's just getting fucking murdered by the divers from the boys in blue. Because if we look, like, Reinhardt, I'm pretty sure just charged that way. No, he didn't charge, he's just walking off that way, but, like, I love to think about safety circles and danger circles. It's just how I parse most information in this game, and I look at this and I go, where's the protection? Where's the safety here? There's none. The most safe person is actually Mercy, even though she's the one completely by herself, because she's got two different people she can go, two different groups of people she can jump to right now. So if they jump on her, she just gets to fly away. So Mercy is actually at, like, the least amount of risk right now, funnily enough. Whereas, like, and, like, I suppose they're not great at killing tanks, so the tanks are pretty safe. But it's just so easy to pick one of these groups of people and go, that's the group we kill. There's no safety in numbers happening, basically. Anna was also kind of off to the side by herself, but she was regrouping. So they just, like, jump in, kill McCree. McCree's the only hard crowd control they've got on their team, except for Reinhardt's ultimate, I guess. So then they've got, like, Reaper running after them, trying to kill them, but, like, by the time Reaper's gonna do anything, they've already clapped and killed McCree and both their healers. So the Red Menace has just got nothing left to stand by at that point. They completely bypass the tank situation entirely and just kill the backline. So the fight actually manages to start turning around all the same, despite getting off to, like, the absolute worst start imaginable, pretty much. So what happened here? So they throw up the self-destruct. That managed to get their D.Va. D.Va lost her mech really early in the fight from diving in, then Winston. So they dive in, but they don't manage to get back out again with their lives, unfortunately. Genji managed to finish off Mercy, finally. How did this fall apart so quickly for, the boys in blue? So right here, they got, like, most of their team together. And then everybody starts going back because they've got the spawn advantage. It turned around very quickly out of nowhere, didn't it? Because, like, even right here, like, that's bad that they lost their D.Va right there. They've lost both their tanks. They've still got 4 people alive versus 2. The tanks just managed to hold on just long enough for the rest of the Red Menace to start regrouping behind them because they've got the spawn advantage right now. McCree used Deadeye and got Reaper. Where's McCree done that from? Where is McCree right now? Because McCree used Deadeye. I guess he came out the right-hand side, we just can't see him. Oh, there he is, there he is. Okay, I can't fucking see on this goddamn map, the red silhouettes. Where's McCree? So he comes out... No, that's not even him. He came out before that. Okay, so he did it from the gate. I can't fucking see the red outlines on this map. God damn it. Don't be colorblind. Pro tip for you. It makes life so difficult to see UI elements. So that's incredible, given the bad start this fight got off to. Because, like, doesn't it just look completely impossible right here? Yeah, basically they just didn't manage to get their tanks back out alive again. And they didn't manage to clean up the rest of the fight quickly enough. Because, like, it doesn't even matter if they lose their tanks right there, if they manage to clean up the rest, like, the 2 tanks quickly enough before they can regroup, but they don't manage to do that in time. So they actually managed to regroup and fend them off again. How incredible. Fight got off to the worst start possible, and they still managed to hold on to it in the end. Who's that? That's Sombra. So Sombra's just sitting, waiting, biding her time. So the Blue Menace, the boys in blue, the Blue Menace, sure, whatever. The Blue Menace and the Red Menace. Dennis the Menace. have got the Blue Menace have got the ult advantage right now, because they've got 4 ultimates ready to go and are halfway towards the other 2. The Red Menace, however, they've only got 2, and they've almost got 3. So, also, the Boys in Blue have got, like, a way better combination of ultimates right now, because they've got Emp, Nano Boost, Emp, Nano Blade, and Transcendence to use right now. So, there's, like, more or less no way they lose this fight, because the Red Menace have very little in the way of defense against a Nano Blade, because they've got Sound Barrier, but, like, that won't save you from Nano Blade. Especially if the rest of his team goes in with him, and if you get emped as well, right? That's the thing also, you got Sound Barrier, right, to protect you from the Nano Blade, which they don't even have Sound Barrier right now. But even if they did, they also have Emp ready right now. So even if they had their one defense right here, it wouldn't actually be good enough, because they could just Nano Blade, he's gonna use Sound Barrier, obviously, you scrape it off with the Emp, and then, bam, no safety anymore. So the Boys in Blue are regrouping, ready to pick their fight, and, oh, they're all emped. Everybody's emped. They use the Nano Blade right now, both their healers die instantly, Reaper's dead, Diva's lost her mech, and yeah, it's a complete wash. And that's Emp for you. You know, they didn't get to even really try and do anything, right? Because even, like, you can try and, like, Earth Shatter the Genji, you can try Sleep the Genji, any of that, but, like, if you all get emped, you don't even get the chance to try to do anything to defend against it. So they captured the second checkpoint. Third checkpoint, still the hardest point to capture on this map, in my opinion, so not the end of the world. I mean, we saw the Red Menace got stalled out here for about 3, close to 4 minutes, so not impossible to imagine, right? So the Boys in Blue, they just chuck Diva's ult in right out of the gate, and it doesn't kill anybody, but it does split the team up really badly, because we've now got 3 different groups of 3 on both sides of the track right now. So if the Boys in Blue are paying attention at this point, they'll see that this big split happened, and they can just pick one of the groups of 3 to dive on. Unfortunately, they don't quite do that. They don't do that at all, actually, so the Red Menace actually manages to regroup. Because this is actually where things can kind of get scary, because this is, like, one of the easiest ways to, like, throw on defense in general is when your team starts splitting up, right? And it's, like, really easy to see on maps like Hanamura's first checkpoint, because that's, like, a very hard point to capture most of the time. But what also tends to happen on that map is you'll have, like, you got, like, the gate, and you got the rock garden right there, and point back there, and then you got, like, the thing up there, all good times, building on the right over here. So what'll usually happen when the defending team fails to defend Hanamura is the attacking team will rush through the gate, and, like, the defenders will not be on the same page as what they're doing. So you'll see, like, the tanks go this way, and then all the squishies go that way, right? Or, like, up that way, or something like that. So you end up with, like, 2 or 3 people over here, like, 2 or 3 people over here, and then the attacking team gets to just pick one of those groups of people, jump on them, and kill them. And then it's very easy to kill the remaining half of the fight. Because as soon as your teams start splitting up, like, if you're, and, like, intentionally or otherwise, because, like, you might decide, well, we'll try and pinch them, right? Even then, you can just pick one side of the pincer, collapse on that side of the pincer 6v3, kill those 3, and then turn around and kill the other 3. So as soon as your team starts splitting up like this, it's very easy to just jump on one side, kill them, kill the other side. So, like, the fact that they get driven like that, 3 and 3, is scary. But the Boys in Blue don't manage to, like, they either don't notice or they don't respond correctly, which would be pick the easiest group of people to kill, which would be the people who went this way, because they have less options of escape and they're right next to an edge, and it's like the squishy people who went over here, right? Because Reinhardt's over here as well, but he actually went in this room. He didn't go around the side with them. So if they were paying attention, they could see this 2 go over here, jump on them, kill them, and then it's an immediate 6v4. And very easy to win the remainder of the fight. But they either don't notice or don't react appropriately. So even though the Diva Bomb actually did a great job of splitting the team apart, they don't capitalize on the opportunity it created properly. So the Red Menace actually gets time to regroup in the center again now and start pushing back against the boys in blue. And now fights started to turn against them, so it all turns around now. So the boys in blue are at an ult disadvantage right now, a pretty big one. They've almost got 3 ultimates built up, but the Red Menace have almost got all of their ultimates at this point, because they've got 5 right now. Very close to 5, about to be 5. They got 5 now. And you might as well say Ana has her ultimate, honestly. Like, 60% on Ana is like 80% for anybody else, right? Like, Ana gets to build her ultimate up so quickly that she pretty much has hers. So the boys in blue, they should know that. They should know they're at a huge disadvantage ult economy-wise right now. And they should just try and, like, push it now, build up some ult charge. Because they pick a fight right now and it goes, like, just decently okay. They'll build up 4 ultimates, maybe 5, depending on how much charge Reinhardt manages to get in the fight. And hopefully they can drain, like, a couple of ultimates out of the enemy team and then regroup and, like, start to push in a little better on the next one. So Reaper's up to no good behind them. I don't think anybody's noticed, because nobody seems to react to Reaper until it's too late. So they lose Ana right at the start of the fight, and then it's, you know, like, Reaper got to jump in and just spin on them behind for free, so no, all very easy for them. Nothing, just clean up the rest of the fight, no problem. So now they've got 4 ultimates ready to go. Reinhardt didn't get to build up very much, so that's unfortunate. So now both teams are kind of even. The boys in blue have got a slight lead in the ult economy because they're unulted people. The people who don't have their ults are a little bit closer than the other people. Reinhardt also, 50% on Reinhardt. He gets to charge his ult way faster than Reaper and McCree do usually, unless McCree or Reaper have a fucking fantastic game. So the boys in blue have now got a slight lead in the ult economy. So Ana just nano boosted. Who did she nano boost? Presumably she tried to nano boost Genji. Yes, she nano boosted Genji, who's going in behind now with Nano Blade. Oh, they lost their Reinhardt right at the start of the fight as well. So let's assess the situation right now. So let's back it up. You can see a little bit better where all the red icons are on the map right now. So bearing in mind, the boys in blue are still running an ult dive comp, so being on your own is scary in this kind of situation. So I see now Lucio's up to no good, because he's hiding up here right now. We got Ana back here, and then Reinhardt up there, obviously, like, you know, by the payload. So, I don't know what Lucio's up to right now. Like, I don't know what Lucio's plan is. What is Lucio's plan? What can he be thinking to himself right now? Just break it down like that? Like, what was his plan? What was Lucio expecting to accomplish out of this? How peculiar. I don't know. I don't know what Lucio's reason for being up there was. Because now he has to go down, like, it starts going badly, because Reinhardt starts getting low, because Reinhardt's, like, pretty far up compared to everybody else. Like, even Diva's all the way back there right now, because she's noticed Genji, I assume. Well, she's definitely noticed Genji now, right? So, Reinhardt's up there more or less by himself. He's got Reaper with him, and that's it. Lucio's up there doing whatever the fuck he's doing. So, like, by the time he notices things are going badly, like, he has to go so far to use this sound barrier that Reinhardt's already dead by the time he lands. And then he lands, but they just get it stripped off with the EMP immediately. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of having Lucio versus this comp right now, just because, like, Lucio's their defensive ultimate, right? Because right now, if the boys in blue come at the Red Menace with Nano Blade, the only defense the Red Menace has against that is Sound Barrier, Earth-Shattering the Genji, or sleeping the Genji, basically, right? There's always killing the Genji, but it's very hard to kill a nano-boosted Genji, isn't it? So let's, like, you know, realistically, those are their options. And the only really consistent one in there is Sound Barrier. But Sound Barrier is just going to get scraped off by the EMP, isn't it? So, like, Lucio is not very good for this situation, because, like, that's their recourse against the combos. But then it just gets scraped off immediately, so what's it going to accomplish in the end? And the thing is, as well, is that Nanoblade can kill you through Transcendence, because if you cut and dash, it does just enough damage to kill you through Transcendence. So it's not like that's a particularly good defense either, but that's a better defense than Sound Barrier is, because Sound Barrier versus Sombra, they should know Lucio's their defense against this ultimate, so we'll just save the Emp and undo that. So, like, Transcendence, despite not being great against Nanoblade, is still better, because at least it can't get cancelled with Emp, right? And those... Because as well, like, if they use Transcendence and, like, McCree flashbangs Genji after he dashes in or something like that, it can fuck Genji up enough that he might not be able to kill them through the Transcendence. Like, it's got more possible options for defense than Sound Barrier has, because that is literally just Sombra undoes it. And, like, in that fight, like... By the time Lucio even got to use the Sound Barrier, Reinhardt was already dead, so it was already a bad start to proceedings right at the beginning. I really want to know what Lucio's plan was. If I listen to the voice chat, I might figure it out, because I don't know what his plan was. Because I don't see what he feasibly thought he was going to do up there. Because it's not like, maybe he was watching for Sombra? But, like... Why would Sombra go up that way? Sombra has so many ways to get to, and that's actually the end of the game, because they elect not to play the map, they just go on to the next game. So if we go by stopwatch rules, which is basically what we have to, right? If we go by stopwatch rules, the boys in blue won, quite easily, actually, because they finished with 59 seconds. Yeah, they got it because the other team got the extension. So they finished with 59 seconds. So the boys in blue won by a fairly wide margin, actually, by stopwatch rules. I can't think of what else Lucio would be trying to accomplish up there except watching for Sombra, but I don't know why Sombra would choose to go that way either, because Sombra has so many options on this map for ways to approach. Because she's the only person on their team that would feasibly go up there. Genji might go up there, but, like, what's Lucio going to do to Genji that goes up there? That's very peculiar. And, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, because Sombra used her Emp regardless, so it's not like Lucio being on the ground versus up on that ledge actually made any difference. But it just meant Lucio... Like, he had so much further to go to get anything accomplished, basically. Like, Reinhardt was in trouble, and by the time he could arrive to Sound Barrier, Reinhardt was already dead. We know in hindsight Reinhardt would have died regardless, because they would have just emped and killed him. But, like, if all things were the same and they didn't have the Sombra, they still lose their Reinhardt right at the start of that fight, just because Lucio's doing something weird, which is not exactly good, is it? Big think. Well, anyway, so that's that Scrim game on, Blizzard World for you. See, as you can see, this is a 2-hour-long VoD, so we got a few videos on this one. I think we'll break that one up over a few days. Unless you want to go through another, like, 7 hours right now. You probably don't. I know I don't. I'm gonna go play Resident Evil. So, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. If you enjoyed the video, for some reason, and managed to get all this way through, please like the video and subscribe for other videos of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful, or at least entertaining.